your friend Sonar, and today I am here to tell you an interesting story, My Kingdom. It's written by R.L. Stevenson, and today I will give you the stanza-wise explanation of this poetry, My Kingdom. Let us see that poem. Kingdom is about the child's imagination. How child imagines, how a real world appears to a child. Children often live in the world of make-believe. They are thinking, imagining and believing that it is like that. So here this is a poem about a child. He thinks that the valley near to his house is his kingdom and he is the king of that valley. The whole world appears to him as his kingdom. So we will see the stanza-wise explanation now. Let us see the stanza-wise explanation of this poem. So, the first stanza is that down by a shining water well, I found a very little dell, no higher than my head, the heather and the gourds about, in summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. So by the first line, down by a shining water well, it means that the child, he was sitting near the well, he thought that he found that water well. I found a very little dell. He is asking that, the child is asking that he found a very little dell. Here dell means a small valley with trees growing in or around it. No higher than my head, the heather and the gourds about. Here heather means a low wild plant with small purple, pink or white flowers. Gourds means a bush with thin leaves with sharp points and small yellow flowers. It means this valley is full of many flowers and plants, different kinds of flowers, different color of flowers. So that child imagines that he found that all the flowers, he found that the well also, he found that valley. He thinks like that. In summer bloom were coming out, some yellow and some red. It means this is a summer season and the flowers are blooming. They were coming out. Some flowers are yellow in color and some flowers are red in color. So by the first stanza, we understand that the boy is telling what he found. He see that the water well and the little dell. Dell means the valley and the well here is the small pool. He found the flowers on the valley, so he thought that he made all these things. Now let us see the next stanza. See here, I called the little pool a sea, the little hills were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town, I searched the caverns up and down, and named them one and all. Here, the I is the boy, the child, he is telling that and he is imagining that the little pool, a sea. The little hills were very big for him because he was very small. He thinks that he made a boat. He thinks that he made a town. He searched all the caves. Caverns here means the caves, especially a large one. So he have gone up and down in the valley and he searched the caves also, and he thought that he had given the name to all these things. So in the second one we have seen, second stanza, the child imagines that he made all these things and he had given the name to all these natural things. Let us see the third stanza. This is the stanza. And all about was mine, I said. The little sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world, and I was a king. For me the bees came by to sing. For me the swallows flew. So the first line, and all about was mine, I said. It means that the child imagines that all those things, natural things, belong to him. The little sparrows, see these sparrows, the birds which are flying over his head, he thinks that this also belonged to him. The little minnows, Minnows means the small fishes. The small fishes. So he thought that these fishes also belong to him. And see here, this was the world and I was king. So the whole world is his kingdom and he feels that he is the king of this world. So for me the bees came by to sing. By his instructions the bees came and singing for him. He thinks like that. For me the swallows flew. It means the swallows flew only by his instruction. For him they were flying. Swallow means also this is a bird, that is a small insect eating bird having forked tail and long pointed wings. So in this third stanza we have seen the child imagines that he was a king and the world is his kingdom. Now let us see the fourth stanza of this poem. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call out from the house at evenfall to call me home to tea. So I is the child here. He was thinking, assuming that he was playing at that place, at that valley where is the deeper sea present. Here sea is what? Sea is a water well, a small pool. A small pool, he thinks that it is a sea. So he thought that this is the deepest pool in the whole world. Nor any wider plains than these. So for him, where he was playing on that valley, the plains are the widest one, the most widest one plains of the whole world. He thinks like that. Nor other kings than me. It means that in the whole world there is no any other king like him, which have such a beautiful kingdom. Because world is so beautiful, so he is having very beautiful kingdom, that is world. So, while thinking all these things, at last he heard a mother call. She was standing at the outside of the house in the evening. It was evening. She was standing there and calling him for tea. At last stanza of the poem. Here it is. And I must rise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms, alas, and my home I neared. How very big my nurse appeared, how great and cool the rooms. Here, in this last stanza, we will see with the very downhearted, he has to rise from there, means he stood up and left his dell. He has to leave that valley because his mother was calling. He left his dimpled water well, means that sea, he has to leave that beautiful place, and then he left that heather blooms, the different colored flowers were there, he has to leave. So with very unhappy mood, he has to go home. When he was going near to his home, see here how very big nurse appeared. Then he had seen their mother was standing. Nurse means here one who take cares. So here the mother was standing at the outside of the house. How great and cool the rooms. Then he entered into the room. That's a very great means the large here. So large house and very cooler the rooms were there. But he was thinking about that again, about his kingdom. That was the world. So he kept imagining about his kingdom.